Tom Brady. Okay, guys, we'll talk to y'all later. Happy chaos. See ya.
Happy chaos. That's our song. Loud and wild, but where we belong. Life's a sermon, love's the verse. Blessings big and a little reverse. Happy chaos, yeah, bring it on.
Welcome to Happy Chaos. I'm just doing it on purpose now.
I know.
I think I made this chair loose doing that.
That's okay.
No,
You just tighten it up or just throw it with the other ones that are loose in this house.
I guess. Hey, welcome to Happy Chaos. I'm Justin. This is Kelly. Widow, remarried. Now we have a podcast.
Yeah. And this is episode
I don't even 44.
45.
Is it 45?
45.
Whoa.
The legendary number.
Oh boy.
Because it's Trump.
Excuse me for 1 second. We both have little colds over here.
Yeah.
Little mine's worse. It's a man cold.
He has a man cold, and so of course
So it's
his is like near like hospitalization.
Oh, that's terrible.
But he just doesn't leave the hospital, rightfully so. And so here he is.
You're running far with that for somebody who doesn't complain. Other than my noise making when I get up and down.
What do you mean he doesn't complain? I'm messing with you. You're the one that started this. I don't think you've ever shown man cold.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Just to be
like you were taking it far.
just
though.
so everybody knows.
Like hospitalization.
I know, because you were so I just went with it.
Well, I felt insulted.
He doesn't act like that. At least he hasn't yet. To be continued.
Yeah, I don't. Notice that Kelly, there's two things happening that I don't love right now.
What's that?
Coffee and mugs on the table in front of us. I don't like coffee itself.
And by the way, I didn't do this. I know people are going to be like, gosh, she is just changing him. The boots. She wants the hat. Y'all can just, I'm gonna pull a Pastor Justin. Y'all can keep running your, I'm just kidding. That was so good. I almost jumped out of my seat. No, but he is the one that I got this special like Doze coffee, which I'm not going to say too much about them because I'm going to try and get a sponsorship. And if they're not going to pay me, I'm not going to advertise them.
Now you're thinking like a businesswoman. I like it.
And so he wants to try it. And so we'll talk more about it if we get a sponsorship.
Yeah. It's not coffee. It is coffee. She says she can't taste the coffee.
No, because I'm an espresso girl. And
So you don't even have it.
I do. I put some in my espresso.
It's a mushroom based coffee. So it's I'm not gonna get us high or something. No, that's not what it is. I shouldn't have said that. He's a pastor.
Say that.
No, it's like turkey tail.
Look at those lights, man.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Anyways, it's supposed to be good for your memory and your gut. And
I am corrupting him, y'all.
I know, right? And he's a pastor. I had a little last night. I don't love coffee.
No, he doesn't.
And she's like, it doesn't even taste like coffee. It doesn't even taste like coffee. And I tasted it. I'm like, I totally taste coffee. I read the ingredients, and it says the second ingredient is
Except
coffee.
he actually said there's a hint of coffee.
It's light. It's not super strong
Yeah.
like coffee. Anyways, whatever. But now it's like it's like in our
I know.
view.
It's part of our podcast, you know?
I guess I want those like microphones that.
We're getting those microphones, by the way.
Yeah, we haven't maybe.
We should just make the purchase now, even though we don't have our studio yet.
We have a new studio coming, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
But
we're buried in snow.
We're buried in snow, and we're going to be buried in work when this thing comes in because it's unfinished, and we have to finish it, which means soundproofing and.
If you guys know anyone who sprays insulation and does drywall that wants to like get a shout out.
Well, the problem. Yeah, I was gonna say that the problem is that we got to do it by sweat equity.
Yeah, I know.
So
Because we're putting some money into this thing.
Yep.
Hey, we have a Patreon.
Hey, that's true. I mean,
If
it's
you guys
under the
want to
whole truth.
support the cause and support this show and
Yeah.
all that we do,
Well, it's not the Happy Chaos Patreon, but it is.
But it's still.
It's under the same ministry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where can they find that Patreon? Can we do a little ding and you put it right there where I just said ding?
I can, yeah.
Really?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, we're
do
gonna
it
put
again
it
if you
there.
want. I did it twice.
Ding.
Okay, I'll see if I can.
I shouldn't have made the ding sound though, because you have a thing that makes the ding sound.
It's okay. We'll line it all up, and it'll be
Okay.
the magic of
We
movies.
need some special stuff in ours, like you have in your whole truth.
I have just that little bit in the intro, and then I just
Then you
Cut it.
swipe stuff.
cut stuff in and out. I don't cut anything out of this one. I just let us roll.
So today is Monday,
The day after Super Bowl,
the day after Super Bowl.
and we have thoughts.
We have lots of thoughts, and we're going to try and filter some of them, but not filter some of them because you love when we're real and we're honest, and until it convicts you.
I think that for me, it
And then
comes
you
down
delete us on
to.
Facebook.
I think the reason we want to talk about this is because of the Super Bowl, the halftime show, the alternative halftime show that was presented, and then the idea of like where that falls into a family, just what we think about these sorts of things and how we're handling them. I mean, we're not trying to judge anybody else for what you're doing. We're not telling you that what you should be watching or shouldn't be watching. And I hear all the sides, I promise.
Yeah.
All the sides, from people who are like, I promise there was a guy yesterday that I thought for certain he would be like on board with like doesn't love the Super Bowl, and he's like, you're not watching the Super Bowl? And I'm like, I would have thought you of all people would have hated the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And nope, he loved the Super Bowl. And then somebody else that I thought, like, this is a sports guy, he's going to love the Super Bowl. And he's like, you're watching the Super Bowl? And I'm like, man, you can't win, lots of opinions. I just say of all of that, read Romans 14. That's it. Go read Romans 14.
That's right.
Okay. If you want to watch the Super Bowl, watch it. If you don't want to watch the Super Bowl, don't watch it.
Yeah.
I think in and of itself, a football game is amoral.
Yeah.
It didn't do one thing one way, or you weren't bad for playing or watching football. You're not, doing good by playing or watching football. It's just an amoral thing.
And we had to root for our Patriots. Who'd you root for?
I went for the Patriots, but I'm reluctant because I almost went for the Seahawks.
Just because the Patriots is my team.
Just to bug Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because, yeah,
Yeah.
somebody's got to challenge it.
Yeah, exactly. So I am actually a Tom Brady fan. And when
I'm working this coffee down, y'all.
when he went to the Bucks, I went with him because
Bandwagon.
I will follow Tom wherever he goes. He was the number one athlete and number one player. He was the GOAT, and everybody knows he's the GOAT. And so I followed him over to the Bucks, which I loved because I was in Florida and he was in Florida. Trump moved to Florida. The GOATs moved to Florida. The only one I needed to move to Florida was Justin to make it a triple GOAT. And so that didn't happen. So I came here and Tom Brady left. And so he retired and kind of makes everything stupid. But it's okay. So I'm back to my roots, which is New England.
But but you stayed there when Tom Brady left. Why didn't you go back over to Florida? Why didn't you go back over to rooting for Florida since Tom Brady's not playing at all?
Because New England is my roots.
No, Florida is your roots.
I grew up loving New England, loving the Patriots and the Celtics.
I can't keep up with this woman. Is she a Florida girl? Is she not a Florida girl?
I'm a Florida girl.
She's a Florida girl when it's convenient.
No, but my team is New England. Die hard, always been. But I definitely left it all for Tom when he moved to and Gronk. He's not the only one. Gronk.
I asked her yesterday, I said, how would
Dream
you feel?
Team.
How would she feel if I just loved a cheerleader and was like, great athlete, best athlete in the world?
I don't think Tom is good looking. If it means anything at all, I do not think Tom Brady is good looking at all. So it is strictly because he is the best.
I know. What if
you could put a big old fat boy there, and if he's the best, he's the best. Like that's just the way it is. And people hate. They hate when I say he's the GOAT because he is. People have admitted.
She said you put a big old fat boy there.
We hate him.
She's just trying to roll past it, but I'm not gonna let it go. put a sumo wrestler there.
You could put a sumo wrestler there. As long as he can play like the GOAT, then he gets the status. But nobody will ever surpass.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just reverse those roles. If I was saying that about a cheerleader, I was like, I don't think she's good looking. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she's a great athlete.
You'd be gay.
I'm saying she's a great athlete.
You'd be gay.
I used to do gymnastics, like her tumbling skills. You know, if I said that, would you be like, yeah, I'm great with that?
No.
Right. Case in point. Case in point. Okay. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Tom Brady. Tom Brady, okay?
I know, because he wasn't playing, because if he was, we would have won last night.
I have things to say. I'm not going to say them.
I told you we were filtering some of this. He's filtering. I'm not.
No. No. Anyways.
I love you.
I love you. Mm-hmm.
So anyways, we're going to talk today. And it's also Valentine's week, you guys. This is like...
I know. We're talking about Super Bowl and it's Valentine's week. I feel like you've missed your shot here.
No, because I contemplated this morning, and I was like, we should do a Valentine's episode, have it come out on Valentine's Day. That way ladies can have their men watch it on Valentine's Day.
Because that's what your men want to do on Valentine's Day is watch us.
Valentine's Day is not about the man.
That's
And
true.
I don't make that rule. Men have made that rule.
And you know what?
I don't want it about me. I don't care about Valentine's Day.
Don't y'all lie. Like, you guys are just quiet. You watch because you tell me.
Yeah.
You say things that come from this podcast, and I go, you were watching the podcast. You had to watch the podcast.
And there's no shame in it. We love that you watch.
Right.
He needs some bros.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, we're talking about the Super Bowl. First of all, let's just start out with a question. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Do you watch the halftime show? And did you change over to the alternative halftime show? That's 3 questions in one.
Yeah.
That's
I
big
hope
questions.
you didn't watch the halftime show, though.
There's people that we know and love that did watch the
I
halftime show.
hope not.
I can agree with the irritation, some of the irritations over the alternative show, though. It doesn't make it okay to watch the other one.
No, it does not.
But I mean, they've been doing stuff on the halftime show. They've been over sexualizing.
Oh, yeah.
and-
Remember Janet Jackson?
Oh goodness, and I mean all many others that they've
Yeah.
had throughout the years that they, you know.
Madonna and Britney.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, I hadn't thought about that one. Was that Super Bowl that they
I
did
think
that?
so. They recreated it at Super Bowl because it happened, I think, on stage at like the VMAs or whatever it was, and then they recreated it to make it. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they recreated it at the Super Bowl.
It probably had some Epstein stuff to do with it. Anyways.
Yeah, Madonna was probably her handler.
Probably. Anyways.
We're getting into some conspiracies today, y'all.
That's not even a conspiracy. This Epstein stuff is not even a conspiracy. Like,
But
it's right
people
in your
consider
face.
it to be.
There's nothing to be. I mean, you can literally go read it. Go to the DOJ's website.
I
You can
know.
read it for yourself and see for yourself what's going on. But my word, I mean, it is grotesque.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I hear like guys like Tucker Carlson trying to you know, kind of dumb it down. Like, well, some of it might be fanciful or this or that. And I'm like, I think you're trying to soften the blow of the grotesque nature, and when we have to read it, and let me be really clear, the grotesque nature of Satanism.
Yeah.
This is what the enemy, whom Christ tried to warn us about, this is what he brings.
Yep.
And you know that it's demonic, it's satanic, and that is why it is so grotesque. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about those things here on the show because I don't think it's the place
No,
for it. But
definitely not.
it is rough. And the problem that I see is that you read some of these things that are blatant and in your face, and then they block out the person's name. Who are you protecting? Why is our White House protecting
Right.
people? You know, protecting names from emails that were sent between that person and Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
This person sent a message to Jeffrey Epstein that is pretty blatantly clear that there is some sort of child trafficking
Yeah.
going on, and you've crossed that person's name out so that we can't see it. You've redacted it so that we can't see it. Oh, that's not okay.
Yeah, agree.
No, this pastor's not going to be sitting silent for too long. I
That's
am
right.
getting riled up.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the Super Bowl and the halftime show.
And the
Let me-
alternative, because we switched over to the alternative halftime show. And we were contemplating not doing so because there was rumors spreading around that Nicki Minaj was going to be performing at the halftime show and the alternative halftime show. And let me tell you something. She can dress up like a princess. Doesn't make you a princess. You could put a diamond in a pig's ear and it doesn't make her any less of a pig.
Wow, you said her a pig. You didn't say.
I know.
You didn't say it. You said her. Whew.
But like, I'm sorry. You can claim to be this Republican and a Trump supporter, but like your music speaks for itself. And if you've repented of it, that's a different story.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I think that we have to start with. What does redemption and what does repentance look like, and simply announcing a side, which is what Nicki Minaj is doing. Now, granted, she did come out and she did say, she was talking about like the Epstein stuff going on, and she said that these people are satanic, and she said
sacrificing babies.
Yeah, she said I'm trying not to say things like that, but she did say that that's why it's so bloody, because it's because Satan requires that. Those were her words. She's got a tweet or whatever it is that says that, if you even call them tweets anymore, that she's got some sort of a post that says that. But she was not on the show. Let me open us up with a little story. When I was maybe 13 years old, I was at a church, and the church was having a Super Bowl party. And I thought it was interesting because I told this to Kelly earlier. I didn't hear of churches doing Super Bowl parties this year, or really last year. Like maybe since about 2020, I really haven't heard of churches throwing Super Bowl parties. For a long time, that was kind of a church thing to do. You know, the church would have a Sunday morning service, and then everybody would come back at 3:00, and people would bring a dish or whatever, and they would have a Super Bowl party, and people would hang out at the church, and somebody would turn on a television somewhere. In this church, this was like late 90s. They wheeled in a TV on a cart, like a tall cart. They wheeled in a TV into one of the rooms. And so there was a room with the Super Bowl going on, but really everybody just hung out at church. And the teenagers went out and played, football outside, and people were eating. But nonetheless, I remember some guys getting mad because the church turned off the halftime show. And they wouldn't allow there were some guys that wanted to watch the halftime show, and the church said, no, we're not allowing the halftime show. And so they turned off the halftime show. Right, rightfully so. They turned off the halftime show. Of course, you do have to ask yourself at that point, then you have to say, well, wait a second, like what am I supporting if we're just turning off the halftime show portion when it's halftime.
I agree.
And then we're watching the whole thing, the whole rest of the thing, that we are still supporting that, whatever they're doing, we're still allowing it because we go, well, we just turn it off at halftime. But I'm going to say that to some degree, it's a bit of a moot point because it's not going anywhere. You can.
I know. Did you see them pan over to Brazil and over to England and Australia, and the parties that were happening? I was floored. I guess I just never thought about it. I thought it was like an American thing, but man, people get down
worldwide
with the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so, but that got me to thinking just about families in general, watching the Super Bowl. What do you do? What do you not do? And I would say that our first stance for Kelly and I is that we just simply say a football game is a football game.
Yeah.
It is amoral. Can we find wrong inside of a football game? Well, yeah. I mean, the commercials that they force on us are wrong. There have been people on the other end of that that have done things where they've put out Christian commercials and spent millions of dollars to advertise Christian things during that time. And so I can say that the advertisements alone aren't enough to make me say I don't think that you should watch something like that, because I don't think you're watching something like that. You're not participating in something bad because somebody forced something on your eyes in an advertisement, whether it's a scary movie or, something racy or something homosexual or, whatever that they're kind of forcing at us. I think that if I look at it from the standpoint of the game itself is amoral, it's just a game.
Yeah.
It's, somebody played for a couple of hours and you watch them play this game. I think that you can find wrongdoing when I start to think about the way that people idolize, whether it used to be like teenagers, but it is not just teenagers. Like people
Oh,
idolize
for sure.
people.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Anyways, and so no, I'm just saying some people idolize people. Like
I do not idolize Tom Brady. He could drop off the face of this earth and I would not care.
well, you would care.
I mean, just because I'm a Christian and like, oh man, that, especially because he's not saved, I'm sure. I don't know, but you know them by their fruit, and he's not blooming with some fruit for Christ. So
Kelly has zero filter. She just
Yeah,
lets it out. Anyway, so I think that just the stance of like, if you're on the stance of I refuse to watch those things because that's worldly and that's secular. I totally agree. It's worldly and it's secular. I think the second thing you can find in the wrongdoing side is to say it's a waste of time. You are sitting for hours on end watching someone play a game. At the end of that, what do you have out of it? Like, what did you produce?
hopefully a Super Bowl win.
So I think just as a whole, it's just for us, the view is not that we're doing something wrong. Like, it's okay to relax. It is okay to, it's wrong to be idle, but that doesn't mean it's wrong to rest. And it's okay, like, if you've done everything else. I promise we did plenty of work yesterday throughout the rest of the day until we got to the point that at 6:30, we were late to it. I mean, it was like 6:35. We finally sat down on the couch and said, okay, we're gonna sit here and watch the game.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's something wrong with sitting and I mean, that would be the same as like saying like reading a fictional novel is wrong.
Right.
But if you saw somebody reading, you probably wouldn't claim that as wrong.
Right.
So I don't think that it's wrong to watch a game. Now, what they do inside the halftime, then we start to get real questionable.
Oh yeah. And let's just talk about Bad Bunny.
Well, I mean, that was last night's performer. So
I'm having a hard time understanding why you hire somebody to come perform at the American Super Bowl that hates America. I don't care. Don't come at me and tell me he said, God bless America. Look at his track record. Look at what he's actually said and what he actually influences people. He hates ICE.
Yep.
And bring it on when it comes to ICE. All of you people that are talking about, I hate ICE, no ICE, y'all do realize that ICE is helping to protect. There have been so many brutal things happening to Americans, American children, through illegal immigrants. And they are trying to stop that as best as they possibly can. But now they've got these, I'm going to filter here.
No, don't filter. Don't filter. Let it out.
Liberal trash.
Bam.
Liberal trash that is resisting because they hate America. If you hate America, get the heck out of our country because you don't belong here. And I am just not okay with it. Like, I'm telling you, I will get in a face-to-face confrontation with somebody if in person if somebody comes to me anti-ICE, and there might be a serious problem.
There's a soft side to Kelly, and then there's an aggressive side to Kelly. And sometimes that aggressive side.
I am so mad right now. I have worked myself up.
You worked yourself up. We're just here. It's just me and you, babe. There's not one piece of liberal trash here right now. But I think that I would. Here's my pastoral side coming out with a word of caution, and here's what I would say. I think that you have in life. I think you have a lot of people who are easily swayed, and I don't think that they're.
Guard your heart.
I totally agree. Guard your heart. I totally agree, but I don't fault people who are being duped, and I think that you have people that are being duped.
I do.
And so what I would say is to the ICE conversation, what's happening with the ICE conversation. Here's what I would have to say to that. It's pretty clear what is happening. Like it is. There's no way that no one doesn't see what is happening. Like you can see. You're just choosing sides. You're choosing which side that you're okay with and which side that you're not okay with. And then we elevate that to the point that we get to be riled up or whatever. ICE is deporting people. They deported just as many people. There's lots of things about this you can go look for yourself. They deported just as many people under other presidencies, that spent more money and deported just as many people under other presidencies. ICE is not brand new. Trump did not create ICE. It's been around since other administrations as well. So this isn't like, I remember being a teenager working at a restaurant, and there was a foreign guy that worked there and used to joke about ICE. And that's when I learned about it for the first time. I was like, what's ICE? I didn't even know back then. And so, but you have students that are walking out of schools and protesting.
With signs that say, I like my ice crushed.
Right, or even worse. The slang word right now to use is F ICE, and you have teenagers, walking around and saying that. And I really, to be honest, this is a happy chaos podcast, and our goal is to be uplifting and be happy. But I got to tell you, I am unconcerned of who disagrees with us about the ICE situation.
And you parents of these students that are holding these signs, shame on you. Shame on you 100 times over.
Yeah, but when let's come back to the Bad Bunny side of that conversation. So I think with the ICE thing, I'm saying that it's pretty clear to see what's going on. They're deporting people. People are disagreeing with that, and then everybody's elevating their side to try to make one side look worse than the other side. And my pastoral recommendation I was getting to, and I kind of came off that for a second. But here's what I would remind anyone watching is, we are not each other's enemies. And we don't have to be each other's enemies. Now, when we start standing in each other's way, when you got people, fighting with ICE law enforcement agents, and I think you have some people who literally see it as, they're trying to stop the Gestapo. Of course, it's not true. They're not Gestapo.
It's funny because they ran from their country that does have a Gestapo, but then they're trying to come over here and allow the very same things that created their Gestapo over here.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole.
You got me started on something. You can't tame it.
Started it. I did not start that. I'm trying to calm you down. I'm trying to bring your level down. You started it. You brought up Bad Bunny, and then you went to ICE. That was not me. But I believe on his outfit, he did have F ICE on his outfit. At least I saw a picture. I didn't watch that halftime show, so I couldn't tell you, and I wouldn't watch it. I'm not going to. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm not going to watch it is because he is openly some sort of transvestite. He wears dresses and women's clothing. I don't know much about him, but I do know that what I've seen of him is that he burns flags publicly, and at least one. Unless that's some sort of an AI video, but I don't think that it is. So you don't
know anymore,
right? That's a hard thing to tell. But here is a guy that obviously does not like America, and he's obviously not for Christian values, and he's got the eyes of millions of young Americans on him, and he's known for his political activism, and it's not on a side that I would agree with, but it just goes to show, again, this is the problem when you look at something like the Super Bowl, forcing these sorts of things on us to say, well, this is who we're going to hire, we're going to bring in this guy Bad Bunny. We're going to bring him in to do the Super Bowl. And so for us, even if there wasn't an alternative, the Super Bowl is going to lose those ratings from us because we're going to turn that off in our house. We're going to say, nope, we'll turn it off, and we'll come back later and see what they're doing. Yeah. See what they're doing later. So I don't have a ton to say about that other than I'm refusing to watch.
I have a ton to say, but I need to calm myself down because my blood pressure just shot through the roof there for a minute.
Well, she's kicking.
Right. And I don't want to get on pastor's wife.
Well, you might have crossed that line a little bit. You might have went past that.
No, I towed the line with liberal trash. I could have crossed it. When I said to get the heck out of our country, that was a line that I stayed behind.
Right.
I could have very easily crossed that line. But.
So I said there's a soft Kelly, and then there's aggressive Kelly. There's both. She's many layers. This Kelly that we know.
Oh gosh.
But I want to move over to the Turning Point USA. I want to talk about their show, mm-hmm. what they did. And first of all, I want to say that kudos for taking a stand. You know, most people avoid doing something during the Super Bowl because you know that you're not going to be able to get the ratings, get the people, you know, like
Right.
I wouldn't host a church event on Super Bowl Sunday evening because people will not be there because
Yeah.
they're going to stay home and they're going to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it takes something like what Turning Point did to make a direct competition
Yeah.
for the halftime show.
Yeah.
To draw people away. And I don't know of many entities that could do something and have as big of an impact
Yeah.
as now. I mean, I'm curious to know how many millions of people watch the Super Bowl. I wanted to look that up and I
know.
forgot to look. But I'm sure it's lots of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's hundreds of millions that are probably able to tune in.
Yeah.
And so
And at one time, it was like 6.1 million watching the alternative halftime show.
yeah. So you know, that's a lot of viewership.
It is. And I just want to say really quick, gosh, I wish they had hired me to create their. I'm serious. That could have been one. And it already impacted a lot of people, which we're going to get into that. But it could have been like, oh, hit your heart, powerful, life changing, like Charlie Kirk's testimony and his who he was and the life that he lived. Like that could have been seriously
Missed opportunity.
big time.
I think I think
Big
for
time.
me, like I'm starting out, I'm telling you, like I want to say the positive things. I want to wrap up on both ends with positive things, but I have other things in between that maybe aren't as positive. They're certainly not totally negative,
Yeah.
but they're definitely not. I'm just not willing to bow down and go, oh, well, just because this group that I like did the halftime show, now I have to say that it was great.
Right.
You know, Kirk and I Kirk's our worship pastor at church, and he and I have the same. We're like, you know, did you not want to knock it out of the park? Like, did you not want to knock it out? And I think from their perspective, they did want to knock it out of the park, but I think that then they got cautious, and then their caution turned into allowance, and they shouldn't have allowed certain things. But I'll get to that in a moment. But on a positive note, I think the fact that they simply challenged the halftime show and
You're making a sandwich right now.
I am, yeah. But I do think that it was a good effort, and from a group that I think there's not too many other groups that could have done that. I think that like Instagram or Meta or YouTube could have tried to make a halftime show alternative, and we wouldn't have tuned into it. Like
Right.
you wouldn't have got as many millions of people. If Mark Zuckerberg was like, I'm going to make a halftime alternative and it'll be more family friendly, I don't think he would have got as many people to come over and,
Right.
and view his, even though I don't even think he's going to be family friendly. That's beyond the point, though. I'm just saying
Yes.
that like he's a big entity and has big entities, and I don't think he could have had as much of an effect.
Yeah.
But TPUSA, I think they do have the ability, and they used it. They utilized what's in front of them. That what they produced had to have cost millions.
Yeah.
It was great production. So I mean, the cameras and the lighting and the staging. I was a little surprised by the size of the crowd.
Well, you did have 2 stages.
Yes.
And so
I just would have thought that they could have drawn. I mean, I don't know if they sold tickets for that, if that was
Right.
something they did, and maybe the tickets were just too high or something. But I mean, I would have said on each stage it only looked like maybe a couple of hundred people kind of spread out down the sides, but they weren't in these too huge of rooms. It wasn't like they were in a stadium or something.
Right.
That they didn't do that, which that was probably purposeful. I mean, they probably didn't want to be in too huge of a stadium that then they couldn't fill because so many people would want to watch the Super Bowl.
yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know how you could.
And make themselves vulnerable to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some sort of an attack.
Yeah.
So, yeah, kudos to TPUSA for even announcing it. It was relatively quick. It was a quick turnaround from announcement. I mean, I think it was just it had to have just been a few months ago that somebody,
Yeah.
Said, hey, somebody should make an alternative to this. So I think that part of it was really great. Now, when we got to it, it started out for me. We heard of, Forrest Frank and Corey Asbury were supposedly
In the running.
I mean, they talked about how there was talk of Forrest Frank going. Now, I'm just going to say Forrest Frank, I believe, would have been he's your pick.
Yeah.
Like he should have been the
And
guy.
kudos to Forrest Frank because he didn't do it because it didn't align with his
Goals.
conviction goals.
Maybe conviction's the right word. Him and Corey Asbury both. I mean, if you guys kept up with the little thing that they had going on online where, Corey Asbury made the joke video on the Forrest Frank stuff because Forrest Frank kind of came back with like, hey, this
That was
is
a serious testimony.
right. It was my serious testimony. Well, anyways, they kind of had a tiff and then they had a makeup publicly for everybody to see. And then they teamed up, which, Forrest Frank is really good about. But I mean, kudos to Forrest Frank. That Forrest Frank
He doesn't back down.
he's like, for as much as his music is a little bit, what is it, Gen Alpha, whatever it is, his like some of the lyrics and stuff I think can be a little, I want to call them childish at times. I'm not trying to sound like an old guy, but I do feel like sometimes I hear his lyrics and I'm like, it's a little childish.
Yeah.
I love his music. I
Me
totally
too.
love Forrest Frank. I listen to Forrest Frank all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes there are some lyrics that I'm like,
Yeah.
it's young, it's a younger, but he's singing to a younger generation. He's bringing them in. And I love the fact that he had the guts to say, that's not aligning with what I want to do.
Yep.
But I got to tell TPUSA, if you ever heard anything from me, not that they will,
No.
but if they did,
Missed opportunity.
I would have fought for Forrest Frank.
Yeah.
Because Forrest Frank, if you gave me right now and said, who's the bigger name right now, Forrest Frank or Kid Rock?
Forrest Frank or Brantley Gilbert. Forrest Frank or Gabby Barrett.
Forrest Frank.
All day.
All day. I mean, his songs are known in the secular world. There's dances, YouTube viral dances and TikTok viral dances with
Yeah.
Forrest Frank songs. And, he is top notch and does a good concert.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing, too.
Such a good concert.
So Forrest Frank would have been a great pick,
Agree.
but he didn't go in because he saw something, and we were all like, "Uh-oh, what are we seeing?"
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you, after watching it, here's what I saw. Number one, it was thoroughly secular, and I don't mean that in the sense of bad. I'm not saying it was. I didn't say it was satanic. I said secular. In other
Yeah.
words, it in and of itself was not Christian. And I understand they did not say we're offering the Christian halftime show, we're offering the worship halftime show. They didn't say that.
But if Charlie Kirk were alive, it would be Christian.
I don't know the answer. I don't know that it could have been as big if Charlie Kirk was alive.
Right.
To be honest, like I mean, if I'm
For
being
sure.
really,
I see what
really
you're saying
fair about that,
Yeah.
if Charlie Kirk was still alive and he was like, we're gonna offer a an alternative halftime show. I mean, there's plenty of videos of college age students rejecting him
Right.
because they hated his message. So, but I think there is an open door right now where a lot of eyes, positive and negative, a lot of eyes are on Turning Point USA.
Yes.
And so Charlie Kirk's character definitely would have wanted to share the gospel
Christ
of Jesus.
first. Yeah.
And they did. They did that, but I'm going to save that for a little bit. I'm going to put that at the other end of my sandwich
Yeah.
and put that as, at the end because it happened at the end.
Yeah.
But as we got into the show, it didn't take very long. We turn on the halftime show, and the first guy, Brantley Gilbert, sings a song that's not even his song, I don't think.
No.
And so he sings a song that he has to censor at least one cuss word, possibly two. He quiet. I mean, he literally, like, you could tell there was the first one he was going to say, a word, and he stopped himself, and you could hear it in the rhyme, if you will, but you didn't know exactly. He didn't say it. And they didn't have to bleep it because he didn't say it, and they bleeped it. He just self-censored it.
Yes.
And didn't say it. And then a few seconds later, again, he's in the same song, and he does it again. And I looked over at Kelly, and I'm like, see, this is the problem right here. The alternative that you've offered me is less bad
Right.
than the Super Bowl. But
I think that they're different in the way of one's satanic and one is not. Because you do have Christian performers, but they sing country music, and there's that muddy water. Because I love country music. But country music is 90% beer, 5% women, 5% country and God.
I think you're giving a little extra credit there on country and God. But I'm with you.
And so,
Well, maybe not country.
but you have to understand, we have millions of Christians that don't see beer as a bad thing.
I can, yeah, and I can agree that people would say we don't necessarily see beer as a bad thing. I personally hate alcohol, and so I'm sure that rubbed me a little extra wrong because I hate alcohol, and I see the bad effects of that alcohol.
For sure.
But I can tell you this, that to take like Turning Point to hire someone, bring them in, somebody had to clear those songs.
Right.
There are plenty of songs that do not have
Agree.
cuss words.
Agree.
That you could have had sing those songs. What I'm saying is Brantley didn't even sing his own song, so he chose another song.
Yep.
Why not choose a song that doesn't have a cuss word?
Right.
So why not choose songs that don't? It's probably hard to find a country song that doesn't talk about beer, but they're there. There are country songs that don't talk about beer. So, like, why not that? So, not only are we, at this point, do you see what I'm saying? Not only are we secular in the sense that we're not being thoroughly Christian.
Yes.
So now we've brought in secular artists, and now those secular artists that are coming in are singing songs with cuss words and they're talking about drinking beer. And I look at that and I go,
Missed opportunity.
that goes a little beyond missed opportunity. I think that was in bad taste.
Yeah.
We came over to your show not to see how close to the line you could get without crossing the line.
Even though I like to do that, but
just go back about.
I don't have a public platform.
You do have
like
a public,
TPUSA,
like theirs. I'm glad you said like
Yes.
theirs. I'm like, you do have a public platform,
Yes.
and you just went to that line yourself a few minutes ago.
That's because liberal trash is liberal trash.
So we're back to the line.
Yeah, I don't care. I will stand on
She
that.
brought that line with her. It's only a line because of the platform that we're on. The goal of this is to be uplifting and not
Rise above the liberal trash.
there you go. All right, it's positive. Listen, if I was on the church stage, I'd probably say something just the same. Right.
Hit it.
Yesterday at church, I was teeing off about something, and then I said, I'm in front of 350 people, and
Plus the online platform.
right. So,
But it was awesome. Like he did not do anything.
At one point, I was like, "Can I just be honest with y'all for a minute?" Or what did I say? Can I be transparent with y'all for a minute?
Kirk's like, you're already there, brother.
I feel like 350 people literally looked me up and down. They were like, and then I hear Kirk go, "Way past that."
It was you guys have got to go, Salt and Light, ky.org, listen to yesterday's sermon.
It's
Best.
It'll be uploaded later today. It's not uploaded
Yeah.
just yet, but it'll be uploaded later. It's on the live stream. If you went to the YouTube channel, you go to the live and
Yes.
the live feed, and then look at yesterday's. But it'll be on the website later today on the archive. But
So Brantley Gilbert, songs with cuss words,
singing
with
about beer.
drinking beer.
I just feel like we walked up to the line, and so
Yeah.
now we have a less bad
Yeah.
alternative. It's and I mean, it's to the truest sense of the word. They didn't false advertisement. It's a alternative to the halftime show.
Yes.
Here's what I would say though. I think that a whole lot of those millions of people that tuned in for TPUSA, we would have loved more Jesus,
Yeah.
more God.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, more God and country. We
Yeah.
would have been okay with that, and we wanted that.
For sure.
I think that there's a whole lot of God and country in country songs
Yep.
that you could have chose.
Oh, for sure. Like
That-
lots.
And so it's interesting to me, it felt like they were almost trying to avoid looking corny, like we've made a corny, I think they didn't want to look corny. I don't know, I could be wrong, but in my mind, it's like, I feel like you're trying to avoid the thing that we actually kind of wanted. And
And I think that, to a certain extent, you're kind of trying to, people are kind of
ticked. I could tell what you were going to say. Here, you want another line? I'll give you another line.
People are pretty ticked right now, and I think that when you have these like borderline aggressive songs, which I still think that they could have picked other ones. Jason Aldean has a song that he talks about like, come to my town and try that stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to find out real quick what happens.
Right.
And so, but people are ticked, and I think that they were kind of feeding that a little bit because you have this like, I don't know, get you in the like kind of a not aggressive, but kind of in like the fighting mood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm with that, but it didn't seem okay. So let's move to Gabby Barrett.
yes, that's what I wanted to do.
Gabby Barrett sings and she sings a song
And
about
she's
a guy.
Christian. She says she talks about being a Christian.
But then the song she sings is then
about adultery and
Right.
then not forgiving.
right. Then I hope
I hope he cheats like he did. I hope
Like
he
you did
cheats
on me.
like you did on me, and basically singing about unforgiveness and encouraging.
and here's my point. I just come back to
All your songs, Gabby, and I know you sang one of the good ones after, which is all time one of my favorite songs.
yeah.
But why? Why? What does that have anything to do with your objective in life? You have sang thousands of songs. Why that one? I'm so confused.
And so so I say with the Gabby Barrett one, I wouldn't say it was necessarily wrong. Like even the song about adultery, she wasn't singing about like she's gonna go commit adultery.
Right.
But it definitely was unforgiveness. It was
Yeah.
I hope you're okay and that you
I hope
have
you
this
fall in love with
I hope
this
you fall in love
woman.
and then I hope she cheats.
Yeah.
So I hope you just get burned. And truthfully, read Romans 13, and what God actually tells us to do is to pray for those that use us. Jesus taught us that. Paul taught us that. That's when you reap coals of fire on their head, is when you pray for those who use you and when you bless them, because now you're leaving that vengeance up to the Lord.
Yeah.
And so, and I know, I get it. Don't come. It's a song, right?
Yeah.
I get that it's a song. I am not challenging the entertainment value. I think that's the thing. I think Turning Point USA went after the entertainment to try to say, oh, we need to entertain them. But y'all, we didn't just necessarily want to be entertained.
Right.
I think like we wanted the conservative Christian stance. That's what we wanted. And I hope that they hear this. I hope that other Christians will say this. I hope that next year they do it again.
Yeah.
I will watch again next year. I am not turning on them and saying,
Not at all.
run from them.
Not
I
at
am
all.
saying
Kudos to them for doing what they did.
right. But I think
Let's tweak it. Let's
think
up your game here.
And you know, I mean, I think that if a Christian says a cuss word, does he become not a Christian anymore? No, not at all. Like I'm not questioning someone's faith, you know, or stance in the Lord because they said a cuss word. What I am saying is that was planned and organized and orchestrated, and somebody somewhere wasn't like, should we have him do the song that he censors that word?
Right.
Like, shouldn't we? I don't know. Shouldn't we do better than that?
Right.
And so, I think, goodness for that, let's do better. But then let's move to the headliner of the show, the alternative show. And this is the worst, in my opinion. It's the worst and the best all in one.
Yeah.
Which is Kid Rock. And I know that Kid Rock is America First political activist on the right side. I heard somebody say yesterday at church, they said that they moved from the left coast. And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That's the best line I've heard.
Yeah.
He said the left coast. So anyways, like he said, I wanted to move from the left coast and come over to the right coast.
Love it.
Like, I do love that. Kid Rock. I think that, you know, you brought this up earlier with Nicki Minaj, and here's Kid Rock. And I'm not trying to imply in some way that there's not repentance and there's not redemption and there's not forgiveness. I love what's going on with Jelly Roll right now. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Now, you know, do I know everything about Jelly Roll and could come and tell me that he's got this or he's done that or whatever? Yeah, I'm sure. But he is openly proclaiming the name of Jesus Christ. And he is like leaning hard into Christ. Almost at every turn, you know, whether he's receiving an award or whether he's sitting on a show, you know, listening to other people sing or whatever, he is proclaiming the name of Christ. I love that. And I love that Kid Rock got there. And I'll get to that one in a moment. But Kid Rock opened with, I am Kid Rock. And then he jumps off the thing. He's got his old fur vest on. He's got his top hat on. And the song that he's singing.
Well, he didn't sing it. He lip synced.
Right.
Just
there's even one, right? He sings Ball with the Ball. And then if you go and look those lyrics up, they're not good lyrics. Not just not good, like they're not righteous
Right.
lyrics.
And I get that was 25 years ago,
But you sang it yesterday.
but you sang it yesterday.
And so, it's
How many people are going to now look up that song and
Right.
jam to that song?
it's a nod
Yeah.
at you know what the Bible clearly tells us not to do? We're not to revel in our old life, in our old selves. And so, is his name Robert? I think it's Robert.
Robert Ritchie.
Yeah, Robert Ritchie. So Robert Ritchie, if you have come to faith in the Lord Jesus Christ, amen. And I'm so glad for
Yeah.
that. And he has forgiven you for all unrighteousness.
Yes.
And he's forgiven you for that. But we don't want to nod at an old life.
Yes.
And, I know that there's some talk about, he says something, I don't know if it might even be in that song that he says something about underage girls.
It's not that song.
Yeah.
No.
Somewhere.
Yeah, see, look, here it is.
Um,
In 2001, he did have a song that says, I like underage girls. Some call it statutory. I call it mandatory. And, unacceptable.
it's unacceptable.
Let's be clear. Unacceptable.
If those were if that was lyrics coming out in a song right now that didn't, what we love to use time as a way to act like it's not a big deal because that happened so long ago. If that was happening right now and there was a singer who sang in his latest album and he said underage girls, some call it statutory, others call it I call it mandatory.
yes.
If that had happened, I would be saying, no, do not listen to that. Do not let your kids listen to that.
Yes.
That is not good. And so you brought Kid Rock onto the stage. Now, I could be wrong. I've not kept up with Kid Rock. Has he repented of that? Has he made it clear that he's repented of that, of those sorts of lyrics and things that he said? I don't know, but I don't think so. He's a pretty bold personality.
And not just that, but here's the thing. You could have taken that moment that you had on stage and said, I am so sorry for the music that I put out 20 years ago. Please do not buy those CDs. Please, if I could burn them all, I would. I am a new man, and I'm only a new man because Christ came, died for me, rose again for me. That would have been true repentance.
Yes.
And that would have made a huge statement, forget that trash.
Yeah.
That's the old me, and that's sinful. But you
Yes.
didn't. You started your show with one of those old songs.
Bingo. You started your show with a nod at I am Kid Rock. Here's Kid Rock. For some reason, they do this this costume change.
Yeah.
He changes his outfit, puts on some overalls and
I mean,
a ball
it kind of
cap.
is like the old me, and here's the new me. But you didn't make that clear in any way.
If you're,
You subtly.
you know what? I would even accept it if you came out and you said we were trying to use artistic license
Yeah.
and create that aspect. But you better make that clear verbally at
Yes.
some point because you did not. And leaving that
Yes.
open for artistic interpretation.
For sure.
Did you do that or did you not do that?
Right.
It seems to me like we said, hey, here's the famous guy, Kid Rock.
Yes.
Now he's wanting to tell you about his new album because he did come out and tell you about his new song he's going to
Yeah.
drop, which is where he took this Cody Johnson song. And I want to get to this because I've been a little bit negative on, and I'm not being negative in the sense of unfairly negative. I'm just being honest, and it comes with some negative remarks about what happened on the halftime show. You had a guy cussing, talking about beer. We have Gabby Barrett who's singing very secular songs.
Yeah.
And about unforgiveness, and it doesn't have anything to do with God or country or
Right.
anything of that nature. Then we have the Kid Rock scene. I think they had a little violin deal in between. If
Yeah.
that's when they put it, I can't quite remember. But then we
did,
have a
they
costume
did.
change, and there's these 4 guys, and I don't know who those guys were. I'm sure they're famous, and they're like, we want to introduce our brother Robert Ritchie, and then here's the guy Kid Rock, Robert Ritchie singing. What's the song? It's
Dirt Road. I'm not. That was the first one. Till You Can't.
yeah, Until You Can't.
Cody Johnson's.
He
Till You
takes
Can't.
this song Until You Can't and he sings it, and it's it's a good song.
Oh,
I
it's such a good song.
love that song. He's
Yeah.
like, you can always put a ring on her hand, you can always go fishing with your dad, you can always get with your kids until you can't.
Yeah.
And he's saying, so if you've got a chance, take it. Take it while you've got a chance. I love that song.
And
especially
us as widows.
we feel that song.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
so we love that.
Yeah.
And then he takes it and goes even further.
And he says there was a line left out.
He said he woke up one morning.
Yes.
Like he's talking at this point. He's like, I'm sure you saw it, but
Yeah.
maybe you didn't.
I know.
He said, there's a line left out of this song that I woke up and I couldn't get out of my head. And so special thanks to this person, whatever. I had to write it. And so he gives this line. And do you have the line?
And he says, there's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man that died for all our sins hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus and he'll give you a second chance till you can't.
Which I think that those lyrics are beautiful.
Yeah.
And fitting to that song. And I love that.
And if he's a new believer, what an amazing way to share the gospel as a new believer.
Oh, for sure. I love that he named Jesus particularly.
Yeah.
There's the artistic side that he didn't necessarily say the Bible, but
Right.
you definitely know when he
And
said
you didn't know where he was going with that, if he was going to actually say Jesus, because some
Right.
people just skirt it
Right.
and say, oh, there's that book that needs some dusting off, or
Right.
the big man upstairs.
And I will point this out. If you saw it, and I don't know if it's available for replay or whatever, I would encourage you to see it. Like watch it. Go for yourself. Watch. Everyone openly goes crazy and cheers when he said, there's a book that needs dusting off. There's a man that died on the cross. When he said that, when he sang that, everybody starts cheering, which again, and it's the one point, Kelly looked at me and she's like, well, like that's good. And my point is, we were all waiting for that.
But that's what I say about your preaching. People are hungry for the truth. Like, he'll get discouraged when he is bold in his preaching. And sometimes he gets discouraged, like, did I cross a line? Was I too bold? But no, people are thirsty for that truth. Prime example, people screamed and cheered when he said, we're hungry for that truth.
Right.
You could have started that had a whole show that would have fed millions.
And I think that's where the biggest missed opportunity came from. You could have, Turning Point USA could have had Phil Wickham,
Forrest Frank, even
Corey
KB.
Asbury. Yeah, I saw somebody put a picture up with KB on there. And I think that if you had the alternative halftime show as a worship time, this is my prediction. I believe you would have doubled. I think that the people who would have been watching, I think you would have turned out. If 5 or 6 million were still willing to come watch it, even though you didn't sign Christian artists, and we all perked up the moment you said Jesus, we're all like, yes, that's what we wanted. Yeah. Can you imagine what it would have been if you'd have advertised? We're going to have Forrest Frank. We're going to have Phil Wickham. We are going to have during the halftime show, not only are we giving you an alternative, but we're going to give you the greatest gift that we can give you. And you're like Paul not Paul, but Peter walking into the temple that day. And there's the beggar who can't walk and he's begging Peter. And Peter says, silver and gold I have none, but what I do have, I give to you. That you could have lifted that whole thing. And instead of having this like earthly thing, not that I think the earth is flat, y'all,
this earthly thing.
Instead, what I'm saying is this
do it right.
This horizontal thing. It's a dome. Anyways, all right, domes.
This earthly thing. This earthly thing.
Instead, some of y'all are like, now you just turned us off. We were listening to this whole thing, and you just upset us. Instead of having this horizontal alternative that says, here's theirs and we're leveled with theirs. I'm telling you, this is my impression. I haven't wrote this publicly, though. I have a little something written up, and I'm thinking about publishing it. I do believe that TPUSA, I think that you have a failed opportunity in that you gave us less bad.
Yeah.
You didn't give us what we want. The word that really should be used there, what we want is holy.
Yeah.
The word holy means set apart.
Yes.
we didn't want something that was the equivalent to, but I didn't have to worry about Janet
Yes.
Jackson mistakes or Madonna and Britney Spears kissing or something like that. We didn't want that. We didn't want something that got censored. NBC would have censored if Bad Bunny said a cuss word. They would have bleeped it.
Yeah.
They would have bleeped that. Like bleeping a cuss word or self-censoring the guy, that's worldly.
Yeah.
Like that's on par. That's level. If you had brought worship in, you would have elevated and you would have been above. And that's the missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And my proof of that is the end of your entertainers, Kid Rock, ends with this glorious line that shares the gospel, and everyone cheered, and us at home perked up.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity for the whole rest of it.
Yeah.
And so kudos to you for doing it. Kudos to you for putting that in there. I love the memoir that you did of Charlie Kirk at the end.
Yeah.
And I think it's very appropriate in this year
Yeah.
with Erica being widowed. But I do think that even there, Charlie has plenty of clips. He
Yes.
recorded everything.
Yes.
And he has plenty of clips where he shared the gospel.
Yes.
That you could have put
100%.
you could have put a gospel clip at the end as well. So I think that again, if I had to put it into a sentence, I would say that you had a chance to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
You had a base hit. We appreciate the alternative. We appreciate having something that we could watch. That we did like. I didn't feel like in any way I needed to send a child out of the room.
Yes.
To watch your halftime show.
Yes.
I will say that when he bleeped the cuss word, I was like, don't do this to us.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not.
I mean,
Turning
thankfully
on
you
us.
didn't pull up whatchamacallit and play Girl Crush.
Who sang that? Gabby Barrett?
No. Why can't I think of them? There are 4 people in the band.
Oh, I don't even know. I think I know the song you're talking
Yeah.
about. But.
Then I would have had to send my kids out of the room.
Right, and there's probably other songs as well that I would have had to, country songs as well, and then that's just my point though. Like we don't want that. We wanted the alternative. I hope that you all do it again next year. I hope that you bring it back next year.
And I hope you call me.
Yeah, that's right. We have thoughts for you, TPUSA. We just need you to hear this. We need you to hear what we're trying, what the American people really would want, and I struggle. The reason I've struggled to publish what I was thinking and what I was writing down last night as all these things were going on. The reason I'm struggling with that is because I don't want to be down on something that has the potential to. I don't want it to look like I'm being so negative that it's like, oh well, you're just against it. I'm not against it. I just think you missed an opportunity.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to have to frame it that way. Like I can't just let these things sit inside and not share.
Yeah.
That. I think a lot of other people will agree. There are probably those that disagree and those that are mad at me because they'll feel like I'm going against Turning Point.
Yeah.
I'm not going against Turning Point. I love Turning Point
And
USA.
you just said kudos to Turning Point.
I can't help but look at it and say, man, you were that close to knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
You were that close.
Yeah.
And it's too bad. It's too bad that you guys, didn't follow through with that swing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a swing and a miss. But it definitely,
It was a third base.
yeah, it was you got on base. You had a double play.
Yeah.
But, could have been great if we had incorporated more Christ, more God,
For sure.
more Jesus, more worship.
You could have honored Charlie's legacy
Yeah,
by more Christ.
I think
Because that was his number one testimony. I mean, his number one proclamation.
Yeah, who was it
Jesus Christ first.
and who was it? There was a pastor that was talking. I think it was Mark Driscoll. That if I have that name wrong, I'm sorry, but I think it was Mark Driscoll that has some text messages from Charlie Kirk that Charlie was wanting to be more openly evangelistic, and was seeking to do that in his, in his. I don't want to call them debates. I don't know what to call them. In his, when he would sit down and talk with these college students in his
Campus
videos,
crusades.
Campus Crusades, when he was doing those things, he wanted to be more openly evangelistic. And there is evidence of that he was trying to do that. So to truly honor his legacy would be to honor that thing that he was aiming for, which was to be evangelistic.
Yes.
And so, good alternative, yes.
Rate it.
I knew you were going to make me do it. We play this little game where we get food. You have heard about this, that we rate it. We did it with food one day where we rated food that Kelly had not tried. We rate stuff when we go out to eat. If we come to your restaurant, if you own a restaurant,
If we
rate
make
it.
cookie cakes for him.
We rate it. So if I rated the halftime show,
Alternative halftime show.
Give me the bounds of what I'm rating it on. Tell me some things that I'm
So 10 would have been gospel fire.
okay.
0 is
Liberal trash.
liberal trash.
Okay. But I mean, like, what am I looking at? Are we talking about how much they shared the gospel? Are we talking about how family friendly it was? Are we talking about how good it was, the quality? Or
Just their overall. What would you rate them for doing what they did?
don't kill me, y'all. 7.
Okay, that's good. That's what I would give it.
Okay.
That's what I would give it.
I think
I think that's even a little generous, but
okay.
I think that the Jesus Christ at the end, that gives it a 7.
I think the fact that you challenged the system and that you did it,
Yeah.
to me, that's the number one. Like
Yeah.
you did challenge the status quo.
And you're saying something to us by saying, turn off that liberal trash.
Yeah.
Come tune into us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You took a stand.
Short time period. You took a stand in a short time period. Did something. You didn't say, "Well, we're going to get this done in 2027."
Yeah.
You did it just a couple of months later. I mean, Charlie was just shot. What, back in October? Was it September? Yeah, September was when he was shot. So I mean,
September 9th.
Yeah. So I mean, sometime between September and now, this got decided. So October, November, December, January. You had 4 months to get this put together, and you put together a television quality broadcast production. I think the quality was pretty good. Kid Rock. The only thing I'd give you about the quality was Kid Rock lip singing in that first song. That was dumb. It literally dumb. Like, we were at that point. I mean, I'm like, what is going on? Like, what are we doing? Like, he would sing a part and put his hand on, you could still hear his voice.
Like the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
he only said a few words.
Yeah, it was did not look good like that. And again, I'm
But
like,
hey, maybe it's because he's forgot the crap that he spewed.
or maybe he didn't want to say it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, y'all, open repentance is not a weaken. You're not weakened by open repentance. You're not weakening your stance. You're not weakening your fame. Be honest about where you were and where Christ has brought you. And I
benefit
promise,
of the doubt, that's what he was doing.
the Christian community will support you.
Yes.
Chick-fil-A is proof of that.
And who cares if the community supports you? Christ.
Well, amen to that.
Glorifying him.
Yeah. I didn't mean to put community over Christ.
No, I
didn't
don't
mean
think you did in any way, but I'm just saying, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
baby Christians.
Yeah.
Who cares what anybody else in this world thinks?
Yeah.
The one who saved your soul for eternity loves you and cherishes you and is.
Ooh, I have a line I want to say too. The one who loves you and cherishes you has an opinion about what you say and do.
Yes.
He has an opinion about what you say and do.
Yes.
And so,
Amen to that.
yeah, don't, and what a lesson for us. Don't be scared of repentance.
Yes.
We feel like it's gonna like, I don't know, harm what we have, or there's always a fear factor that seems to be involved. But truthfully,
Well, I think it's kind of like, I don't want people to see how dirty I was.
well, with somebody like Kid Rock, we can see it.
Right. It's true.
I mean, you're saying it.
I know, but you feel a conviction when you're repenting that, like, oh my goodness, I want to hide what I was like.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that
I think,
what was
yeah,
I thinking?
for sure. The human nature is to shrink back from
Yeah.
those things and not have to address. And even when we have repented and somebody confronts us with that, we get that. You can see it. I mean, you can see it's a defense that goes up,
Yes.
a wall goes up, and that's what I wanted to bring that back up. I'm glad you got there, because you said that earlier about Nicki Minaj and the things that she's done. I am all about Nicki Minaj, like anyone else, repenting.
Yes.
But I've not heard any of that.
No.
All I've heard is that now she's saying she's a Trump supporter and you're not going to turn her back on that.
Yeah.
And all these other people are satanic pedophiles and they're doing this stuff and you don't even know all the stuff that they're doing. I'm glad that you're exposing.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're coming over to the right side.
Yeah.
But what do we do with all of those nasty things that you sang? What do we do with all that nasty entertainment? If you would openly repent of that and make that known that you were repenting of the thing that got you your fame,
for sure.
and that you regret that and that you are sorry for that, here's what I'm telling you. The Christian community will back you.
Yep.
I was trying to say this a second ago. Chick-fil-A is proof of that. Chick-fil-A made a stance years ago and they said, we stand for traditional marriage. All the LGBTQ community got angry and they went and did these kiss-ins they were saying, we're going to have all these gay people flood into their stores and then kiss each other at this certain time. They're going to sit there and make out with each other in their stores. This happened. Churches around the country band together and bought tons of food from Chick-fil-A on that Wednesday night, on the kiss-in night.
Yeah.
And they had Chick-fil-A catered in. Chick-fil-A sales skyrocketed that year. And now that they are like the number one growing fast food brand, still are the number one growing fast food brand, but they've slowly backed off and backed off and backed off of those stances, and they weakened their stances and said, hey, we just want to sell chicken sandwiches and we're just closed on Sunday because we're family friendly or whatever, and they're not taking as bold of a stance. And my point when they did that, I'm like, man, don't back off of the people that supported you.
That's right.
We supported you because you took a stance, and then we backed you and we showed you that we would back you. And I think that is still true even right now. I think that if Turning Point USA had made a stance even stronger for Christ, you would have had even more support from the Christian community. As a matter of fact, here's what I would tell you. Not only would you pull people away from the Super Bowl, but there's probably a fair amount of people that don't even watch the Super Bowl that would have tuned into your halftime alternative if you had had more Christ and more worship.
Yep.
So
agree with that.
Well, there you have it. There's our take on Super Bowl 60-something. Was it 60, even 61?
It was in the 60. I don't know what it is.
We know what our podcast is, but we don't know what the Super Bowl number is.
I'm going to look it up now because I just don't know.
All we know is Tom Brady wasn't playing. Anyways.
That's right. We do know that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go try to take care of this jealousy that I've got, and I do have work to do.
There's nothing to be jealous of. He's liberal trash.
She is throwing that out. She is just, the accusations are flying today.
I know.
Okay, guys, we love you all very much. We didn't even.
You're not even letting me say which Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What is LX?
I think 60.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know my Roman numerals at all.
Well, X is 50, right?
Isn't X
No, M
10?
is 50. No, M is. I don't know what What are the Roman numerals? Yo, we don't even know what they are. Oh no. L is 50, right? And then the X is 10 more, so that makes it 60.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. So the L is 50, and then the X is 10 more. That just took me a minute to remember.
And let's be clear, that was a lame Super Bowl. Not just because we lost, because it doesn't affect
exactly
me.
why she thought it was
No, it just was so uneventful.
Mm.
The most eventful thing was the interception from the Seahawks at the end.
That's just because I made that entertaining for you. I was, as the one guys, right, like these two big guys had the ball and they were not running super, super fast. And so I started like breathing heavy when they were doing the replays. I was like, as the guys like running with the ball, they were all on the couch laughing real hard.
Oh gosh. I think it's just such a letdown after the last Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. That was the best game that could ever be played.
Tom Brady. Okay, guys, we'll talk to y'all later. Happy chaos. See ya. Bye, Tom Brady.
No, the Patriots came back and just, oh my gosh, it was amazing. I had to use the restroom so bad. My bladder was going to explode. I sat on the couch for that game and I almost didn't breathe. I sat there and I was like, I don't know what to do. What's going to happen? Every play that happened for the next 4 minutes, I sat there on the edge literally on the edge of my seat. And I didn't want to breathe because I'm like, if I breathe, we're going to lose. And we won it. And best comeback of all time for the Patriots.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us on Happy Chaos. See y'all next time.
See you next week. And it's going to be a Valentine's Day special. So tell your honeys, you know what you want to do for date night. You know what you want to do for Valentine's Day. You want to watch us on Happy Chaos. And we won't
Tom
talk
Brady.
about Tom Brady.
Okay, see y'all.
Happy chaos, that's our song. Loud and wild, but where we belong. Life's a sermon, love's the verse. Blessings big and a little reverse. Happy chaos, yeah, bring it on.